Hello.
Hey.
We are here for week 13.
Woo woo.
Lucky 13. We have 13 games in week 13, which means there are 6 buys. My stinky Vikings are on a buy. The Bears are too.
Thank God. Finally.
Vikings and Bears on a buy. So I don't know. Probably don't even watch any NFL since that was the most thrilling game last week. What was it 12-10?
12-10.
Wow. The Bears were the first team to win a game without scoring a touchdown this year. So
yeah,
that's a
special
feather in the Vikings hat, I guess. Not. All right. Let's get into it. Thursday, that's today. There's a game, and both teams are above 500, which doesn't usually happen. Usually Thursdays are turd games, but this one could be good. Anyway, we have the Seahawks and the Cowboys in Dallas, and I have the Cowboys by 7.
I have the Cowboys by 5.5. I continue to be screwed by that line from a couple of weeks ago, undervaluing the Cowboys. This is just dumb. Battle of Super Bowl winning coaches, though.
What's that?
Battle of Super Bowl winning coaches.
Yeah. Don't get that a lot.
Not a ton of active coaches with hardware in the league right now.
Yeah. Okay, so it opened at 7.5.
Yes.
And it is 9. It is going up. People jumping on the Cowboys.
Yeah, 8.5.
I get that one. Every game, the Cowboys, it seems like they either win and cover a big line, or they lose to a team that they really shouldn't lose to. I don't think they should lose to the Seahawks at home, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think the Cowboys have put up, 40 plus points 3 times this year?
I would believe that.
At least it happens at least twice, right? Because they blanked the Giants 40-0, right? In the opener. And then I think they scored 41. To me, this reads Cowboys all the way. I mean, I think the Seahawks are a decent team. Pete Carroll's a great coach. Certainly better, I think, than McCarthy. But I don't know, man. I think the Cowboys are probably going to put up another 40.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys had a dud here, but I don't know that I'm really expecting it. I think I'm more hoping for it as a not really liking the Cowboys that much and kind of pulling for the Seahawks for whatever reason. But
they're more likable than Jerry Jones, I think.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy also not especially charismatic, I don't feel like.
Yeah. So Kenneth Walker is the Seahawks running back. He's most likely not going to play.
Geno's playing, though, right? Because he was injured, wasn't he?
I think he should be fine. I don't think he re-aggravated his injury against the 49ers, so he should be in there. What else?
I don't know. Watch it because there's nothing else on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the other thing. So the Seahawks are still in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Are they 6-5? Do you know?
They are. They're 6-5. Are they in the?
Yeah, because I think the Vikings are still technically in too at 6-6.
Cowboy. Yes, the Vikings are still in. Interesting. They're actually 6 right above the Vikings. This is actually a battle of playoff teams right now.
So that's the other thing for if you like the Seahawks. I mean, the Cowboys are sort of locked in the wild card unless the Eagles. I mean, okay, so the Eagles play the 49ers. We'll get to that. And they could very easily lose because obviously that's a tough game. And then if the Cowboys, win this game, Cowboys still have to play the Eagles again. So I guess if the Cowboys have the same amount of losses and beat the Eagles, they would be tied head to head at 1-1. And then I don't know what the next tiebreaker is, but I guess I don't know. I always talk about motivation. Like if you're the Cowboys, it's like, let's win out. Let's hope the Eagles lose at least one, and then maybe we'll get, they could technically get home field throughout if the cards fall right. But I don't know. The Niners also beat them too, so And I think the
Yeah.
Niners and Cowboys have the same amount of losses.
They're 8-3.
Yeah. So,
At
but
least as of now.
I don't know. Not really, I guess, passionate one way or another on this line.
No.
In a way, I guess it seems kind of high. So part of me says maybe the Cowboys will roll. I just kind of hope we don't get a sloppy Thursday night game, and it's close late.
No, or another dumbass Mike McCarthy outing.
That'd be all right. I don't mind that.
I don't know. I just maybe because it just ushers him out the door
Yeah. Well,
quicker.
is there rumors that he's
If
seat at
yeah,
83?
yeah. Well, with the playoffs, right? Because his playoff record is stinky, and Jerry Jones doesn't care. I mean, he wants to win another ring.
Right.
So I think if he has another first round exit, yeah, dude, I think McCarthy's probably looking on the outside. But right now, you're right. They're 8-3, and they've got a game against the Philadelphia still on the schedule. Like they're only 2 games away from Philly record wise. So I mean, they got everything to play for.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So that's Thursday. We got Colts and Titans at noon on Sunday. Colts at the Titans. I went Colts by 2.
I got Colts by 3.
Okay, we are pretty close to each other. What do we got here? It opened at 2.
It's down to 1.
And the Colts are only favored by 1.
That's really weird to me too.
So I get that one.
Yeah. Colts a playoff team right now. Your
Yeah.
playoff Colts.
Yeah. Ahead of the Bills, obviously the Bengals
Yeah.
are not playing well because of their quarterback situation. Who else is?
The Texans too, I think, right now.
Yeah, the Texans are out too. They just lost the Jags and the.
That's right.
So
Texans, Broncos, Bills,
the
Bengals.
The Texans had lost, or no, the Texans had beat the Jags 10 out of the last 11 before Sunday, which is wild to me because the Texans have been bad for a few years. But I guess the Jags were kind of bad too at the same time.
Yeah.
That was surprising. Well, anyway, the Jags got off the schneid and beat the Texans by 3, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Anyway, that's the other teams in this division. We got Colts at the Titans. Colts by a little bit. It's fair. They're a better team. They're playing better. The Titans, you kind of, I don't know. They haven't been playing real well. Although, I mean, I guess they beat the Panthers by 7, so that's good for them.
This is a team in flux, the Titans, right? They're not. There are rumors about the coach leaving, which is just odd as fuck to me.
So, what was it? If Belichick gets fired, there's a rumor that
he's going to go to the
Kraft
Patriots.
wants Vrabel.
Yeah. That they might trade for him.
So, I mean, I kind of get it because he was there before, but why would you're gonna bring in a coach like you have so whatever, the Patriots have 2 wins, so you're gonna bring in a coach that has from a team that's like very below 500 as well. I don't know, maybe it's just a rumor, but yeah, the Patriots, if Belichick goes, they're looking at Vrabel apparently. I don't know.
I think Vrabel, it's weird because Vrabel, nobody expected him to be a good coach because he was one of those coaches that came in with like 0 experience at a professional level, and he's done a terrific job in Tennessee. Today, this year is a bit of, I don't want to say an aberration, but they're down. But man, I don't know. I would love if the Bears wanted to trade for Vrabel. I'd say go for it.
Yeah,
trade everybody on the roster trade for Vrabel. I mean, outside of quarterback, he's the most important.
Eberflus is calling the defense now, and they're playing well.
There's nothing to like about that guy as a coach.
Maybe Eberflus gets demoted to D coordinator and is guaranteed a spot on the Bears, and then they hire a new coach. And don't let the new coach bring in his D coordinator that he wants. That seems like a Bears thing, though.
Yes, absolutely. Let's keep all the bad stuff. Let's move the bad stuff around so maybe it looks less bad, and let's hire somebody even worse to draw fire. That seems like, yes, very, very Bears. But none of that is planned. It just sort of falls that way. Through rabid incompetence.
We got off on a tangent.
Sorry. Oh yeah, we're not even talking about the game.
Colts, Titans. I mean, the Colts by a little bit. It's a fair line.
Yeah.
I don't know. You either
fun story.
You either think the Colts are going to continue. I mean, they've been winning quite a bit lately, and
They've been consistent all year.
Can they beat a not so great team?
Yes.
Or will the Titans show some fight and win a home game? Not really sure on that one. Don't have a strong opinion. Let's move on. We have the Falcons at the Jets. I have Falcons by 1.
I have Falcons by 3.5.
All right. Okay, so opened at 2.5. It's pretty much 2.5 everywhere. Josh gets that one.
Maybe the only one of the day.
So it's 2-1 me. The Falcons. I'm drawing a blank. They just beat someone.
They beat the Saints for the division lead.
Right. So the Falcons are
5-6.
5-6
Division leaders.
Woohoo! Another one of those.
Stink bomb.
Yeah. So you can't. Okay, fair line. Again, this is similar to the Colts Titans, right? You got a little bit. I guess the Falcons would be a little bit better team.
Bad team versus
on the road
team
against the Jets, who obviously, again, their defense is really good, but their quarterback play is horrific. So you got Tim Boyle trying to
ex-Bulls coach Tim Boyle.
Yeah, ex-Bulls coach Tim Boyle. He's 59, but he's playing quarterback for the Jets.
It's a spry 59.
And he's going to try to get a win so that Aaron Rodgers can come back and save the day.
Next week, is it next? Are we really hearing next week for Rodgers? Is that what we're?
Well,
is that the rumor?
He's pushing to come back immediately, and they're saying like
bring it on
3 more weeks or something like that.
No, let him start. Do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you blew your Achilles and it's not 100% healed, then you go out there and you just
do it.
Blow it again, right? Then you're ready for the first game next year.
Yeah, or to get back on the Pat McAfee show and talk about stuff.
Or maybe if you blow the same one twice, is like the recovery time worse, or is it just as if you blew it?
From his perspective, it's probably better. He's going to do it better this time. You know.
There's like conspiracy theories out there that he didn't actually tear his Achilles and he just wants attention and stuff, which is obviously crazy. But you know how that's
too competitive for that. Like whatever you want to say about him.
Anyway, Falcons at the Jets. The Falcons have been kind of up and down. Like they win a game and then they lose a game they should win, sort of a thing. So from that perspective, I think the Jets is the right side. And then it's like you literally can't trust the Jets at all with you have no idea what you're getting in quarterback play. Like I'll say this about the Patriots later too, but I feel like the Jets should just hand it off. Like they should just run running plays, maybe even a little wildcat, run like 12 running plays to start the game and just see what happens. And just see if your defense keeps you in it and try to wear down the defense. I mean, literally, the quarterback play is that bad where that strategy could work.
20 screens, perhaps?
Yeah. I mean,
play, turn and throw to your side.
If you're going to turn it over at least twice and just screw your defense, like, what's the point? Like, I know no one's ever going to do that, but I would love to see that. Just like our first 4 drives, if we go 3 and out, we go 3 and out, but we're going to run the ball. We're going to run some end arounds. We're going to do whatever creatively you can do in the run game. And just, I don't know, Dalvin Cook taking the handoff and him and Breece Hall just like running some option or something. Like it's more fun to watch.
Yeah, might as well.
Trying to like throw a spiral.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. To deep out. Yeah.
Anyway.
Stay away from this game. Watch something else.
Let's move on. That's enough of this
crap. Yeah.
Okay, we have the Lions at the Saints. I have Lions by 3.
I have the Lions by 5. I
think it's in between. Opened at 3.5, and it's 4 most places, so we split that one.
I mean, I know they lost, and they looked bad against the Bears for
the Lions.
96% of the game. This is just I guess the Saints are sort of right there. I don't know. I don't like this line. I feel like it should be higher.
So the Saints just lost to the Falcons, and the Lions almost lost to the Bears and then lost to the Packers on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, both home games. So you could argue that the Lions are a little bit broken, like something's not quite right. I don't think it's going to continue for the rest of the season, but it could one more week.
I mean, their secondary is vulnerable. The Lions, right? Like that's their yawning gap, right? You can pass on them. You can get passing yardage, and I'm not scared of the Saints passing the ball. So I don't know.
Here's what I'll say about this one. I think the Lions win.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna it's gonna be a close game, and I think they're gonna pull it out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Lions win, Saints cover. So Lions win by a field goal ish, Saints cover, and
That sounds right.
that's playing the little window game there.
Yeah.
But
although if Jared Goff decides to have another turnover happy game, then that's not ideal.
Yeah.
That's not ideal because he had 4 against the Bears, I think. 4 interceptions, maybe 3 or 4. I don't know what he did against the Packers, but it's not good.
Yeah, he had a few turnovers for sure. I think he had at least 2 fumbles and maybe a pick. I forget exactly, but
is he Justin Fields?
Yeah. Ish.
Mm.
All right, let's move on. Broncos at the Texans. I have the Broncos by 1.
Broncos by 2.5.
We are both off. I thought I was going to lose that one, but the Texans are actually favored.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. This isn't one where I just guessed the wrong team completely.
All right. Texans opened at 3. It's 3.5.
So it's Texans are favored by 3.5. Yeah, I mean
at Houston. Yeah. So I get that one. Okay, so I think it's fair. I mean, if the Broncos and the Texans, if you think about it, at this point in the season, are pretty equal. So I guess it's fair. I think the Broncos have won 4 in a row.
It's 5, I think.
4 or 5 in a row, and it just seems like they figured things out. Like Peyton, I've always thought Peyton is a really good play caller and a pretty good head coach.
Yep.
And now that whatever he's doing is working, and their defense is playing better, and like Russell Wilson is playing a lot better, it just seems like how do you pick against them when they've won 4 or 5 in a row and they just seem to be winning? So that's why I went Broncos -1.
Yep, me too.
I don't know. This is one of those where I in a way don't get it. Like, why is it going up to Texans 3.5?
Well, it's at Texans, right? So they're paid. It's weird that they're. Yeah, I don't know. The Texans have been good too, though. How many games they just lost, but they won a few in a row too, didn't they? They lost to the Jags, but they won 3 or 4 in a row.
They beat the Bengals in Cincinnati when Burrow was still.
Yeah, that's the game they went out in, right?
No. It was against the Ravens.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
He threw that touchdown and then he said, "My finger hurts." He said, "Ah." So part of me says the Broncos is easily the right side, and then part of me is like, what does someone know about the Texans? The Texans, Dalton Schultz is questionable. Tank Dell is questionable. So they got some injury issues, which everyone does at this. Like, everyone's questionable at this point in the season. It seems like everyone's just getting banged up. But
a lot of injuries.
I'm gonna go against my theory of why is the line that way, and I'm gonna say I think the Broncos is the right side.
I like the Broncos here,
especially when you get that half point on the 3. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, both teams need this win, right? Because they're both outside of the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they're both 6-5.
Yeah,
and they must be losing the tiebreaker to the Colts.
Yeah, because it's yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's the Steelers and the Browns and the Colts right now.
Yeah, so okay, so let's just spend a little time on that. Steelers, Browns, Colts, Texans, Broncos.
Yep. And then Bill.
2 of those 6 get in, or 3 of those 6?
So 3 of those 6 teams get in. And right now, it's the Steelers, Browns, and Colts.
So it's the Steelers, Browns, and Colts, and I would prefer to see the Bills, Broncos, and Texans get in, because I think have a better chance at making a run. Like
Yeah.
the Steelers, like I don't know, like they just it's like, oh yeah, they have a good defense and they can win a close game, but they're gonna go up against someone in the playoffs who,
Uh-huh.
like when the Steelers are down 2 scores, it's like turn the lights out. They ain't coming back unless they can do something crazy with like an interception, pick six or something.
It's just they're a team that wants to win by 13 points. It's the same thing with the Bears. They want to win by only scoring 10 points. And it's just nobody wants to watch that.
Right.
Like have the ball not move for 60 minutes. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean you got Josh Allen in the Bills, you got
Exciting.
Stroud in the Texans,
yeah, it's exciting.
Wilson and Peyton and the
Explosive.
Broncos. Like those.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: I think the networks probably want those teams to make
Yeah.
it because the ratings would be higher.
Colts are a
But-
good story though.
Yeah, you got Minshew Magic, and then you
Yeah.
got the
Rookie
Browns with 57 quarterback injuries, and
Yeah.
now Myles Garrett, I think, is going
Is
to
he
be
out?
out.
Yeah.
But whatever, we'll see. I mean, if those three that are on the outside looking in are better teams, I guess they'll take care of business down the stretch. But we'll see.
That'd be
Okay. 5 down, 8 to go.
Yeah.
We have the Chargers
Mhm.
at the Patriots. I have the
Yeah.
Chargers by 4.5.
Of the Chargers given 3. Whoa. It's much higher. That makes sense.
Okay.
Patriots are bad.
Open that Chargers 6, and it's going down. It's 5.5. Chargers minus 5.5. I get that one. We were both pretty close. The Patriots are awful, so you're going to go more than a field goal, even on the road for the Chargers, but you're not going to get crazy because the Chargers don't want to win a game either.
I think they desperately want to win a game. They cannot, for whatever reason, put together a winning strategy against decent teams.
I hadn't actually seen like rumors about Staley getting fired, even though just their performance, it feels like he should. And now I finally did. It said NFL Insider says Staley will be fired at the end of the year, barring a miracle, which so I suppose their owner or whatever is general manager is taking the stance of, sure, if you make the playoffs, you'll get another year. Or maybe if you win a game in the playoffs or whatever it is. But if you don't, then you're gone. So what are they? 4-8?
They're 4-7. They're behind the Raiders right now.
4-7.
They're 13th out of 16.
They might. Well, let me. The AFC. They might have to go 6-0 to make the playoffs.
I mean, just to be in it, there are too many teams right now with better records, like significantly better records.
Yeah. So I don't. I mean, I don't know that you can trust either one of these teams.
No.
I don't have a strong opinion.
Chargers have been handling crappy teams.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've been not good against anybody else.
Is Zappy starting?
You know what? I don't even know.
Is this like the 4th game this season
Where
Mac Jones got pulled in the middle of the game and then started?
I don't know, man. It's a sign of what's broken, and it's also a sign of why you don't hire Bill Belichick at this point in his career. It's just a terrible decision. There's no way. Even they're both equally bad. So continuing to waffle between the two of them makes neither of them better. Sticking with one is the only way, and there may be only marginal improvement, but that's the only way that you're going to see anything positive. You can't get positive reactions if you don't give them all of the reps, all of the time, because they need the practice.
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
So I was talking about the Wildcat with the Jets. Now here's another Wildcat situation. Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott, just Wildcat. 12 run plays, start the game, see where you're at. I'm obviously joking just because no one would probably ever do that, but I'm dead serious that would be a better option than what they're doing. Versus, throw 2 picks in the first half, be down by 17 and have no chance. It's like, why not? I mean, they have a decent run game. Like, hand it off. Don't fumble. Put like a treasure chest locked up. Put the ball inside there so you can't fumble, and then open it up at the end of every play and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, this is the Chargers should be good and aren't, and the Patriots are just awful. So I don't know what you do with this.
I mean, don't watch.
Yeah,
probably don't bet it.
Yeah, follow the score. If it's close at the end, turn it on and just see who wins.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'm gonna go lots of underdogs in my winners pick 'em this week. I'm not doing so hot, and it just feels like a weird week where like teams, I don't know, like bad teams are at home and could win. I don't know. That's just a thought. All right, let's move on. I'm up 4-1 with a tie. We have the Cardinals at the Steelers. I have Steelers by 6.5.
I have them giving 6.
It opened at 6.5, and it's down to 5.5. Josh gets that one. Wow. We are both right on, essentially.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I kind of, a lot of people probably would have said the Steelers should be favored by more than a touchdown, right? The Steelers, what did we say? They're 7
I think they are. So they 7-4.
7-4 against the Cards, who are what, 3 and?
Yeah, they're 2 and something. I think they are 2-10.
Okay, so yeah, like, so I went a little lower. It just kind of feels with like Kyler Murray and coming, being back, and the Steelers not being like lights out, that it just felt like it should go lower. But I feel like a lot of people are saying the Cardinals are terrible. They have 2 wins, and like the Steelers should easily win by a touchdown.
I think this is the worst matchup for the Steelers.
I feel like it is too. Like that, they got the 2 edge rushers who want to get downhill, and then you got Kyler Murray, who's
gone,
great at evading the run. Yeah, I mean,
and then shooting it downfield, man.
I don't know.
He's too dynamic of a player, and the Steelers should this iteration of the Steelers should never be favored by a touchdown against anybody. I don't care who it is. Their offense is, and again, we only have a small sample size without Matt Canada, but it's not a good offense. And it's always possible they're not going to generate any touchdowns.
Yeah. So since I think Kyler's been back for 3 weeks, so he beat the Falcons, took the Texans kind of down to the wire on the road, and then who did they lose to last week?
It's a great question. They lost to the Rams.
Oh, the Rams crushed them.
Yeah, they got killed.
So I don't know. I guess a little bit of, and that was at home too. Although the Rams they got healthy. Kyron Williams had 700 million fantasy points. Caught 2 touchdowns out of the backfield.
37 points. He's another sneaky team.
Yeah, I feel like that was just a bad matchup for them. But
Rams have a dynamic offense, right? It's not like the Steelers just don't. And I don't know. They're clearly, the Cardinals haven't put up a ton of points since Kyler's been back, but
I would say, like we said, take the Cards and the points, just because the people who are just looking at this at face value probably love the Steelers.
Yeah.
And those people typically aren't right a lot. So that's what I'll say. All right, I think we're about half done.
Yep.
7 down, 6 to go. I'm up 4-2. We have the Dolphins at the Commanders.
That's going to be a tie.
I went Dolphins 7.5.
So did I.
Okay.
9.5.
Opened at 9. Yeah, it's 9.5 everywhere.
Across the board.
That's so weird to me. Like 9 is kind of a weird number, and then it, like, people take it up to 9.5, and then it just sits at 9.5. It's like 10 is kind of a round number, right? A touchdown and a field goal. Like, you feel like it should settle at 10. I don't know. Anyway, Dolphins 9.5, tie.
Mm-hmm.
More than a touchdown, less than 10. It's right in that little window. So we're both sort of got it right in a way. it's just one of those games where the Dolphins on paper should definitely cover. It's whether Washington still cares to try
come and play. Yeah, that's right.
and can they play decent in a home game and cover the 9.5. I don't know. It seems like Washington's broken. It seems like Rivera is probably getting fired. I have Sam Howell on my fantasy team. Maybe he could. Maybe it's 40-33, and he gives me like 40 points. I mean, that would be decent. But here's another one where, like I said in my Pick'em league, I'm just going to take the Commanders at home. Like, they're capable of putting up a lot of points. I don't know that their defense is really capable of stopping the Dolphins, but it could be a game where the Dolphins kind of have a dud, coming off a Thanksgiving win. I don't know.
The Dolphins are bad team stompers. They stomp bad teams.
That's true.
And I mean, the Washington is a bad team. It's a discombobulated team. It's a team that's going to be absent a coach, doesn't maybe have a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this line feels a little low. I keep forgetting the Dolphins put up 70 this year. 70 points.
The Broncos, and you could say the Broncos. I mean, at this point in the season, the Broncos have a top 5 defense, I would say, which is just nuts.
I mean, the Broncos aren't the team they were when they played the Dolphins, right? Like, if these teams met today, and maybe they will, there's an opportunity we could get a playoff rematch, which would be fucking incredible.
That would, just to see how it compares.
Yeah. After being dropped by 50. Man, now that's what I'm hoping for. That would be the best playoff game ever. All right, let's hope that happens. But I think you're right. Like, Washington on paper feels like a way better team than what we're getting on the field. And so who knows what could happen? But this just feels like Dolphins by 15 or 20.
Right. Yeah, they've had so Washington played the Eagles tough twice, but the Eagles don't always jump out early. They kind of hang around. So they give Washington a chance. Like,
they're a bad first half team.
In a way, like the Dolphins usually start hot, and then it's just, I mean, it'll be tough for Washington to. But whenever you have a home team who's had, like Washington's beaten a couple decent teams this year. They're at home. I don't know if they're trying to play spoiler. What's their record? Do they have if they win out, do they make the playoffs? I'm sure they do, but
Washington?
Yeah, I mean, it's not happening.
They're 4-8, but if they win out, that's 9-8. They can best go 9-8. Okay. So I don't know.
Well, we're gonna learn a lot about whether they are still playing hard and think that could happen, or whether they've kind of given up. Because this is the game where that's really on the line. So if they lose, I would say they're definitely out. I don't know that 8 and 9 could get in, I guess, but
I mean, that's weird. Like, at that, like, what is that 7 spot? Because it usually that 7 seed usually generates like a kind of a poor record. Like, either like they're at 500, which we don't have anymore. I don't think we've seen anybody get in sub 500 since we went to 17 games. But yeah, like that 7 seed is probably going to be 9-8, maybe even 8-9 this year.
All right.
In the NFC. Okay.
Let's move on.
Best game of the week.
Oh, yeah. The Panthers, fresh off firing their head coach, against the Bucs in Tampa.
Absolutely bizarre press conference by the team owner. That the team owner, like, there's been so much shit, like, in the press about how much of a dupa he is. He had to come out and prove it to everybody.
Who is that?
David Tepper, hedge fund billionaire.
Wait, so he's the owner?
He's the owner. Yeah, David Tepper had to come out and say unequivocally, everybody wanted to draft Bryce Young. Nobody disagreed. It was unanimous. Which is crap. I would assume. I mean, who knows? But it's like, I don't know.
So there's at least a rumor. I think you said there's at least a rumor that Reich wanted
CJ Stroud, Tepper,
and the owner wanted Young, and now he's just like, well, I'm the owner. I'm not firing myself, so let's just get rid of this other guy.
Well, and then I read this today. The other rumor was, this is so stupid and gossipy. Like, the idea is, I heard that Tepper came to Reich before this last game and said, run more RPOs. Or maybe it was after this game. and cater more to Bryce Young's strengths. This is the same thing we're hearing in Chicago, right? With Fields, cater your offense to his strengths. And I guess Reich said that's not the system we run. And then, but who knows? Like that's why would you do that? Like as a coach, why would you just be like, we're not going to do what is bad? I don't know. That's just it's a weird story.
If you're an owner and you don't know football very well, like granted, it's a different thing if you used to be a player and like you really understand it, but like just stay out of it. Like don't say anything.
Yeah. When I also so this is some I really wish I would have attributed this because this was really insightful, I thought. So he's a hedge fund guy. And the way that you run hedge funds is you push money into it into something until it stops generating revenue, and then you pull your money out and you put it in something else, right? And that's how he's running his football team. You know, given the turnover with coaches, he's putting faith into the coach until it's going bad, and then he pulls him, and that's why he's got 6 coaches in 4 years or something like that. And then the comparison is the Steelers have had 3 head coaches since 1970.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're obviously if you're desperate and that's the only offer you get, you're going to take the job. But like, why would you? It's like when you're hiring someone and they've had 10 jobs in 15 years, it's like, no, we're not hiring that person because something's going on there. It's kind of that sort of situation in reverse.
But. It's bad, and he just needs to get out of the way. He's got to hire the right person to run everything. He's got to get the fuck out of there, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know it that well, but it certainly sounds like that's the situation. So Panthers at the Bucks. I went Bucks by 6.5. What do you got?
Something. I got the Bucks by 6.5.
Whoa. Well. We got the same. We're gonna tie. You know how I know we're gonna tie for sure?
No, I'm sure I'm wrong.
I don't remember what this is. I think it's lower.
It's 5.5. 5.5.
5.5, and there's a 5 in there, so we'll call it Bucks 5.5. So this is like literally the same type of situation as the Steelers Cardinals. Like people are like the Panthers have 1 win. They're terrible. Like the Bucks the Bucks are not very good either. But
same record as the Bears.
I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah, the Bucks will cover that."
Yeah,
we'll see. We bring this up not every week, but a lot. Like someone gets fired or a quarterback gets hurt or gets pulled in the short term. Seems like the team rallies around and plays better the next week or two. But this situation,
it's a 1-win team. Man.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you got the first round pick, but it's not your pick.
No,
it's the Bears pick. So it's actually tanking does them nothing.
Well, it does impact their picks in subsequent rounds, though, right? So it does impact their second round, third round, fourth round pick. So there is some play there, but they don't have the first round pick. But who's picking this team to go on the road and win against anybody? Like even if they were on the road against the Patriots, would you?
Well, right, but Vegas knows that too. So like, don't you think they want you to take the Bucks as like, oh, this is a freebie, this is a gimme?
I would think they would want the money on the Panthers, wouldn't they? Because I don't think the Panthers are gonna.
Well, I'm saying they're begging.
Oh yeah, to put actually, yep. Mm-hmm.
They want you to.
They want the Bucks. Yes, that's right. Yes.
I don't know, but the Panthers are so bad.
I don't. This is a dumb game too. Maybe NFL should just cancel it. They just cancel the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like one of 6 or 7 noon games. Yeah, I think if they cancel it and just give them each a tie. What's the Bucks record?
The Bucks is 4-8. They're the same record as the Bears. So that's the stupid thing. The Bucks, there's a 1-win difference between the Bucks and the division leading Falcons. They're not out of the division race. They're not going to win a wild card, but the Bucks.
Who do the Bucks have yet to play? Do they have to play both the Saints and the Falcons still?
I think they do at least once. So let's see. They have to play the Falcons after the Panthers, and their last game of the year is against the Saints.
Here's what's going to happen. The Bucks are going to finish 7-10. They're going to make the playoffs. No, I mean it could happen.
I mean the division is not very good, but they're right there, and they have 2 games against both of the teams that are in front of them in the division. If they could win those games or win this game, shit, they don't even need to win these games. Just need the Falcons and the Saints to lose.
Right.
And that's really possible if they win and those two teams all have the same fucking record.
Yeah. Wild stuff here. 2023.
Woo! Yay, football.
All right. We got 3 ties and I'm up 4-2. So we're going to move on to easily the best game of the week.
Oh my God.
We got
best game of the year, maybe.
Niners at the Eagles. I have the Niners by 2.
I have the Eagles by 5. Getting 5.
I'm almost right on this one. It opened at 2.
On the road? That makes
and it's 2.5 is the most consistent line. There's a 1.5 and a 3. What did I say? 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5. Take the Eagles all day here, man.
Okay, so let's just spend a little time on this since it's actually a good game. And we talk a lot about bad games. So
Yeah, we did.
Rematch of the playoff game last year. We've talked about this before. Brock Purdy gets hurt in like the first quarter.
Elbow completely, or
And
shoulder.
Garoppolo and Lance were already done for the year. So they had like Josh Johnson trying to do something and he couldn't. They even had McCaffrey taking snaps because it was so bad.
Yeah.
So the Niners feel like they got cheated because they didn't get to play the game with their horses. So there's going to be no lack of motivation on the Niners side. I also don't think there's going to be a lack of motivation on the Eagles side. I already saw Hassan Reddick come out and say, "Oh, you guys were whining last year about this. Come in and let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got." So I don't think you want to stoke the fire on the Niners any more than it already is. But maybe they just, maybe the Niners come in and they're just so jacked up that they're getting penalties and personal fouls and stuff. But this game is going to be physical. It's going to be, I mean, I hope it's a good game, and I think it will be.
Yeah.
So I still think the Niners are a better team. The Eagles know how to win a close game. I'll say that. I don't like if this is close, I could see the Eagles winning it. Obviously I almost nailed the line. It just seems like the Niners overall talent, their defense, the Eagles defense isn't that great. It seems like
they've been struggling.
So it's like
getting pressure.
Do you take the team that knows how to win a close game at home that maybe isn't quite as talented, or do you take the road team who's got they're maybe a little more talented at both on offense and defense and maybe have a chip on their shoulder? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this, like I'm on the Niners. I just think they're going to come in and win after what happened last year. But should be a good game. So this must be a 3:00 game.
Yeah, it's 3:25. It starts Central Time.
But yeah, I mean, a great game. Like the Eagles have had to play the Chiefs, the Bills, the Cowboys, and now the Niners.
The best
That's
teams.
4 of their last 5, if not the last 4.
Yeah.
So I saw another thing. It's like the Eagles have the gauntlet of a schedule. And then they're like, well, we beat all those teams. We are the gauntlet.
Yeah. It's true, man. Jeez. This is the NFC Championship game, like right now.
Yeah.
Like this week. Because I mean, regardless of the outcome, I feel like these are the 2 teams that are going to be in the NFC Championship game.
So if the Niners win and win out and then the Eagles lose one more game, the Niners would have the tiebreaker too. So you could see the Niners getting home field throughout.
Eagles beat the Dolphins too.
And the Eagles still have to play at the Cowboys.
They do have to play at the Cowboys, at the Seahawks, and at the Giants, dude. They got 2 games against the Giants. So I don't know. Let's maybe slow our roll here.
Well, hold on. The Eagles lost to the Jets.
That's true.
On the road.
In a 14th. Yeah, man, that's the hell.
Anyway, I couldn't argue with you if you like the Eagles as a dog at home.
I like the Eagles, man. Give me them points.
But this is watch the hitting. There's gonna be some early penalties. I think people are gonna be all jacked.
It'll be a very brutal game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Extra bag of popcorn for that one. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. Browns at the Rams. I have the Rams by 2.5.
I have the Browns given 3. And Browns.
So let's do the line and then we'll talk a little bit about this. Rams
3.5.
Rams opened at 5 and
Yeah.
it's 3.5.
Way off.
Okay, so Dorian Thompson-Robinson, whatever. He's a rookie. He's played, I guess, better than PJ Walker. He's not turning the ball over, but I think he has a concussion. So he might, I'm guessing he's not playing. So you get PJ Walker on the road. Myles Garrett, I think, is going to be out. That obviously changes things. The Rams are playing better after they went bye week and then smashed the Cardinals on the road. They seem healthy. Like Stafford doesn't seem to be bothered by his thumb thing, and Kupp is healthy. Kyren Williams is back. I'm not sure about their defense, but it's if Watson was playing, I think this is probably a pick 'em or the Browns are favored, but like the Rams should be able to win at home with Garrett out. I think it's fair. And what are the what's the Rams?
The Rams are 5-6. They're right outside that playoff race, so they're 9 out of they're 9th right now. I mean, that's that.
And
the
if
Vikings
they win,
they're 6-6. Yeah, I don't know how the tiebreaker falls between the Vikings, but the Packers and the Vikings and the Rams are all right there, and then the Saints are 5-6. The Saints are there too. Honestly, I mean, so it's really interesting. You could see a scenario where the shitty NFC South gets both two teams in the playoffs. Depending on how things shake out. Like, again, I don't know how the tiebreakers are going to fall, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Probably not, because they're bad teams.
Whenever a team in that division has a glimpse of hope, it seems like they
lose the next week. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. So I don't know. Do you think the Browns can stay in it with the Rams on
Clearly,
the
I do. I like that defense. Something about that defense. It's rated high in both categories, passing and rushing. And the passing defense is really good. I don't know. I do like the Browns here. But the Rams, when the Rams are right, that offense is something to see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with you. This is a fair line. Rams at home. They're really favored by 0.5 point. So makes sense.
All right. So I get that one. 6-2. We got 2 left.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a game that didn't seem like it would be good a few weeks ago. Chiefs at the Packers. I have the Chiefs by 5.5.
I have the Chiefs giving 6.
So it opened at 6.5, and it is 6.
Boom.
All right. Take the mic. You got it right on.
I mean, I think the Chiefs have been struggling a little bit, and even though they're still winning games for the most part, and the Packers have come on in the last few games. It feels like Jordan Love is maybe finally finding his stride and playing at the level he needs to play to be successful. I just feel like there's something about the Chiefs that isn't right. Whether it's the play calling or Nagy is the offensive coordinator or the just absolute lack of quality receivers. Yeah. But again, I think the Chiefs can probably still double the Packers up. So,
yeah. So the Packers are 5-6 all of a sudden. Like a couple weeks ago, it was like, yeah, there's no way they're making the playoffs.
Yeah, they won 3.
They weren't playing well,
nope.
and they were 3-6 or whatever it was, and then they beat the Chargers, and then they beat the Lions on the road. Now it's like, have they like figured it out? It's almost like a Broncos sort of situation where they've just figured it out all of a sudden. Now this is a tough spot, but like they win, they could be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If it ended after this week, depending on what happens.
Look at the rest of their schedule: Giants, Bucks, Panthers, Vikings, Bears. Like they could go 5-1 after this week, right? Yeah, like Giants, crazy. Bucks, Panthers. Like that's like they could be, if they beat the Chiefs, which it's not out of the realm of possibility. They could go 6-1. They could be 11. Packers could be 11-5.
Yeah, I mean they'll have the juice. They won't. There
Or
will
11
be
and
no lack of motivation there. They got an extra couple days to prepare as well. So, I mean, if you're on the Packers bandwagon, you're gonna love this spot. I think just because like they're playing well, they're at home, they have a chance to make the playoffs, and like
great schedule.
Yeah, like hey guys, let's win. If we win this one, then like we're gonna make the playoffs, sort of thing. And I mean,
5-1, man.
They'll go. I mean, they should go 4-7.
Yeah, 4. So it's interesting. We were just talking about this. So 9-8 probably makes the playoffs at the 7th seed, and they have a legitimate shot at going 10. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens after this game. If they win this game, like, dude, they could be 11-6. If the team is 11-6.
Yeah, I mean, the law of averages or just playing the numbers, like you'd think they're not going to win every game they're supposed to win. But I mean, that schedule is very
cake.
That's probably one of the easiest schedules the rest of the season.
Has to be.
And then that's week 17 or week or no
17 weeks week 17 against the Bears, or week 18 against the Bears.
So week 17 at the Vikings, I could see those two teams having the same record. And sort of being like a loser doesn't make the playoff. The winner has a good chance, but
the Packers could find themselves again in a scenario where they need to win a division game to make the playoffs, where they're out. Like, and the Bears could be playing spoiler for the dude. That would make this Bears season so good. So good.
Yeah. All right. Plenty of drama there. Fun stuff. Setting up. Yeah. We got one left. Bengals at the Jags. I have the Jags by 8.5.
Jags given 7.
I think it's maybe 8-ish.
7, 8.5.
7.5 went up. Opened at 7.5. It's up to 8.5. Oh, so I'm right on. Good. Okay. So we all know the Bengals. Browning is the quarterback. He played decent. Like they were in the game against the Steelers, and then they just fizzled at the end. They had it in the red zone and turned it over or something. But I mean, they were competitive. Mm-hmm. So the Jags finally beat the Texans once out of their last, or whatever, for the second time in their last 12. Mm-hmm. So again, you don't know what you're getting with a backup quarterback in the Bengals, but if they have any fight left in them, I think this is a great spot for a Bengals cover. I think the Jags are going to be a little bit they're not going to come out so hot in this game just because, they beat the Texans. What's their record?
There's 8-3.
8-3. And so in that division, are they 2 up?
They yes, because the Texans are 6-5, I believe.
So it's like, you start to get a little comfortable, and then what happens? You either barely win or you lose against a team you shouldn't lose against. And if Browning plays decent, like if Burrow's playing this game, what's this line? Maybe Jags by 3, maybe down to a pick 'em. So, I mean, I don't know. You're getting more than a touchdown. You could get a little bit of a sloppy start from the Jags. So, I mean, I think the Bengals is the right side on that. But that's just my 2 cents.
I mean, this is a good line. I mean, the Jags have been good. They're certainly on a trajectory that you want, but I don't think they're not going to win a Super Bowl. And this team just whatever extra stuff you need to have to win one, I don't think they've got it. But I feel like they've certainly got enough to beat the Bengals by more than a touchdown.
So a couple things. What's the Bengals record? And then
the Bengals are also. They are 5-6.
5-6. So, I mean, you're not completely out of it yet. Yep. Although, I don't know what you're thinking if you're in that locker room. It's like, man, this is not going to be easy. Anyway, who is the 1 seed in the AFC right now?
It's the Ravens.
The Ravens are 9-3, but they're on bye. So if the Chiefs, Jags, and Dolphins all win, they're all 9-3. Those 4 teams. So the Jags are, I mean, I don't know. If I'm their coach, I'm saying, let's win out. We could get the 1 seed, and then everyone's got to come through us, sort of a thing.
Well, they were briefly in the 1 seed like before all the games last week finished. And then they can't lose this game, right? Because the Texans are right there, and they already lost one to they're they split that series this year. They need this game. They can't lose this game. Both teams do. Just like with the Chiefs Packers, they both need these games. So.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're getting to that point where well, whatever. We're 2/3 of the way through the season, and it's getting to that point where it's like do or die if you want to buy or if you want a home playoff game. It's do or die if you're on the bubble and want to try to make a push for the playoffs. So things are getting interesting. I feel like we have pretty good matchups compared to most weeks this week. The highest line is 9.5. We have no double-digit lines. You heard me say it. I think you're going to see 3, 4, 5 upsets this week, but who knows? I'm also not doing well in my winners pick'em contest, so take it with a grain of salt. But we'll see. Maybe tonight we'll get started with those upsets. The Seahawks going to Dallas. They need one. We'll see. All right. Any parting words of wisdom? Your Bears beat my Vikings.
I know.
I'm not happy about that.
God, me neither. They look bad. Oh God, what a dumb coaching staff.
Just think if the Bears would have won just like one more game,
they'd be right in. I know.
5-7.
I know.
Like how bad we kind of thought they were, and now they're like, oh, their defense is playing well, and Fields is healthy. It's like.
And there were 2 games that they had, the Broncos game, and that they were winning for the vast majority by multiple points, by multiple touchdowns.
In the Lions game?
The Lions game and the Broncos game.
Right. And I mean, even the Saints, did they have the lead at half or not quite?
They were close. It was closer. So that's right. There's 2 games. They could be 6. They could be 6-6. They could be right where the Vikings are.
Yeah. But I mean, that's
but their coaches are dumb.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends out or how they end the season, and if Eberflus gets fired or if they give him another year.
What could they possibly have seen? Even if they went out, what could they possibly have seen that goes, this guy's our guy. He's so good.
He won. What do you mean? He won 4 games. That's good. Didn't they win like 2 last year?
He finally beat a division opponent. It only took him. What was it? It was 7 tries?
No, I think it was 11. Wasn't he 0-10 or 0-11?
He was this is his second year, and this is his first division win. So it was, well, maybe it was 0-9, maybe. It was 0-9. So he's 1-9.
Because it was the Vikings at home.
Well, your quarterback is injured, and you're on a backup.
True. But if they would have won that game 7-5, your chances of making the playoffs are probably like 85%. And now that they lost, their chances are like 50, maybe.
No, and it's just not a good look with the Packers seemingly surging and the Vikings just sort of hanging on.
And also a chance, like if they win that game, there's a chance with the Lions just losing, chance to win the
division was there. Yeah, at least we got a coach though who seems to know and understand how to win football games, at least the basic concepts. In the modern era, the Bears coach is still trying to win games like it's 1950.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know what else to say. We're at the hour mark. We've told you what we think and how we feel.
That's right.
We got, 13 games. Lucky week number 13. This is the last week of buys, so we're going to get a full slate next week.
Woo.
And we'll be back for you in about a week.
See ya.
Go Vikings. Oh, they're on the bye.
Go Bears, get some rest.
Yeah. Get some rest. Be ready for the final push. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.